A cheap price actually breaks the entire purpose of XRP and makes it way more expensive to use. You heard that right, and I know it sounds completely backward, because usually when we go to the store, we want things to be cheap. We want cheap gas, cheap groceries, and cheap clothes. But David Schwartz, the guy who basically built the tech behind Ripple, is saying that for XRP to actually work the way it's supposed to, it literally cannot stay dirt cheap. Let me explain this like we are 5 years old, because the logic is actually super cool once you get past the confusing crypto words. Imagine you want to send your friend some money. Let's say you want to send him $100. Now imagine you have two choices on how to send that money. Choice number one is using pennies. To send $100, you have to find 10,000 pennies. You have to put them in a giant sack. You have to drag that heavy sack to the post office. You have to pay the postage for a heavy box. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of space, and it's really annoying to count them all out. Choice number two is using a single $100 bill. You take that one piece of paper, put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, and you are done. It is light, it is fast, and it is efficient. In this story, the pennies are XRP when the price is low. The $100 bill is XRP when the price is high. David Schwartz is trying to tell everyone that if XRP stays at a really low price, like 50 cents or $1, it acts like the pennies. If big banks or huge companies want to move millions of dollars across the world, and the price of XRP is low, they have to buy and move millions and millions of individual tokens to equal that value. That creates friction. In the world of money, friction is bad. Friction costs money. Schwartz gave a specific example that makes the math super easy. He said, imagine you want to move $1 million of value. If XRP is priced at $1, you need 1 million XRP tokens to move that value. That is a lot of tokens moving around. But if the price of XRP was $100 per coin, you would only need 10,000 tokens to move that exact same $1 million. You are moving the same amount of value, but the network doesn't have to work as hard because it's handling fewer items. It is way more efficient. There is also another problem with a low price that Schwartz talked about, and that is something called market impact. Let's go back to our lemonade stand. Imagine you have a swimming pool. If the pool is really shallow and you do a cannonball into it, you are going to splash water everywhere and maybe even hit the bottom. That is a mess. That is what happens when a big bank tries to buy a massive amount of cheap XRP. Because they need so many tokens to make up the value, their purchase makes a huge splash in the market. It messes up the price while they are trying to buy it. That makes the transaction unpredictable and expensive. But if the pool is super deep, like the middle of the ocean, and you do a cannonball, the water barely moves. That is high liquidity. That happens when the price is higher. A higher price means there is more value sitting in the system. So when a bank wants to move $1 million, it's just a tiny drop in a big ocean. The price doesn't go crazy, and the transaction happens smoothly. This is why Schwartz keeps saying that XRP cannot be dirt cheap if it wants to be the main way the world moves money. He isn't just saying this to hype up the price or promise that you are going to get rich. He is looking at it like an engineer. He is looking at the utility. For XRP to be a bridge that connects all the money in the world, it needs to be able to handle billions of dollars without sweating. If the price is low, the bridge is shaky and narrow. If the price is high, the bridge is a massive 10-lane superhighway. So the next time you see the price of XRP and think it would be better if it was cheaper so you could buy more, remember that for the technology to actually do its job for the big players, it actually needs to be expensive. The utility and the price are tied together. You can't have a global payment network running on pennies. You need it to run on diamonds.